Alright, here we are, another camping with Rick. Figured I better get one more time out. Here's my usual spot. Apparently we're supposed to get snow next weekend. Once that happens, it's kind of tough to get out here. Normal trip for me. Get out here and figure out what I forgot to bring. Fortunately, I had cardboard in the back seat of my truck because I forgot my cutting board. Tonight's generally a good night for soup. This will be interesting, new to me anyway. Got one of these little camp stoves. Kind of hoping the wind would die down out here. Has let up a little bit. At the bottom. Oh, how do you like that? Opens up just nice as can be. You can see it, a little stainless steel stove. The bottom to it here. I don't know if that slides in or just sits under. Oh, it does slide in. Grill top. I only kind of got my firewood and got all set up here with that earlier. I'll be right back, go place this, and then I'll be right back and start getting my supper ready. Kind of a veggie beef soup tonight. Bowl, I got some seasoning, some Cavender's Greek, and a little bit of Lowry's. A 5-ounce steak from Quick Star. And the snack pack. I got my veggies. As I think I've said before, I started this channel, I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go with it or what I wanted to do with it. I'm still not entirely sure. But for tonight, we'll talk about something that's just irritating me and everybody else. As of today, the government's still closed down. I always remember when I worked, I could take a month off. My boss wouldn't have cared. Of course, I wouldn't have got a paycheck either. I guess that's the perks of being government and being salary. Oh, another scammer call. Get rid of him. I'd like to think we elect grown-ups and adults. That was broccoli, now I got a little cauliflower in here. Apparently being responsible is not in our government's long suit. I have some carrots. Like I said, I did want to get out here one last time for the year. If it doesn't snow this weekend, me and the kids might come out again for one more, but it's that time of year here in Iowa where I'm kind of surprised it hasn't snowed or given us freezing rain yet. You can see maybe off the side of my light. One or two videos ago I commented on my 40-year-old lantern finally quitting on me. And okay, $12 Amazon kit got it going again. Anyway, this shutdown seems to be causing a lot of people a lot of grief and irritation. I just don't get why it needs to be. We elect these people to do a job, and then when they don't do it, we re-elect them. For me, it hasn't had a huge effect. It hasn't really affected. My benefits are through the state for the most part. Oh. Clean up my mess so I can take my garbage out with me. Good enough. fingers off a little. Add some water for my broth. I think I need my headlamp. Alright, on that note, let's go over and get to cooking. I'll take this with me and see. Well, we have success. The stove's going great. Still got a bit of wind out here. I wish I could figure out a way to block it. Anyway, it's still a good night. A little bit of wind. Still a good night to be out. You know, I've said it before, get outdoors, folks. Do something you like, something you enjoy. Life's short, and you may as well enjoy as much of it as you can. Said before, too, I had health issues at the beginning of the year. That's why this video's kind of taking a while to get out here. Had some medical appointments. Oh, hang on, I got to deal with a scammer. Hello. 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 Anyway, enough of the scammer. I had medical problems. Had checkups here the last 2 weeks. Everything, the surgery took, everything took good. I'm doing well. So I'm back to camping and doing whatever I feel like to have fun. So now I'm going to let you go. I got kind of a blaze going here. I'm going to cook my supper and I'll come back at you when it's done and I'm eating. Alright, I think I'm just going to keep the fire going for a little bit. Kind of a neat little thing. Sit down here and eat my soup. Take my word for it, it smells good. Them veggies in there, meat kicking around. Other than the fire, it's gotten pretty dark out here, so just on that note, I'm gonna go eat my supper, relax. I'll check in with you just before I lay down for bed. And y'all know my sleeping setup. Behind the sleeping bag, since it's supposed to be cold tonight, I did bring an extra quilt. So I don't want to freeze. Alright, I think I'm just going to keep the fire going for a little bit. Kind of a neat little thing. Sit down here and eat my soup. Take my word for it, it smells good. Them veggies in there, meat kicking around. Other than the fire, it's gotten pretty dark out here, so just on that note, I'm gonna go eat my supper, relax. I'll check in with you just before I lay down for bed. And y'all know my sleeping setup. Behind the sleeping bag, since it's supposed to be cold tonight, I did bring an extra quilt. So, I don't want to freeze. Okay, campers. I was about ready to lay down for bed. And I'll give you a quick camping tip. I've been out in the woods a lot in my life. Heard a lot of things. Heard some motion out there tonight, rode it off, maybe deer. We got coyotes. I didn't hear any cackling, but didn't think too much of it. You know, seen all kinds of wildlife in this part of the world. No sweat. Never once have I come across a deer or raccoon or skunk or none of them carrying a cell phone. I heard a cell phone out in the woods. Tried to engage. Went silent. Heard a little bit more noise. Sounded like someone maybe walking back towards the road. But, you know, it's no longer relaxing at that point. Now I'm stressed. And I'm not comfortable sleeping there tonight. So a tip for campers and outdoors people. If something like that happens, you get spooked, you get that feeling, you get whatever. For whatever reason. Doesn't have to be a cell phone. Call it a night, go home, go somewhere else, relocate. If you don't feel comfortable, there's a reason for that. In this case, it was a cell phone in the woods in the dark, and it wasn't my cell phone, and there shouldn't have been anybody else out there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do tonight. We'll see what I come up with here in a bit. All right, folks, cut that night short. I just opted to come home for the night. You know, closer, it's windy. Opted to come home for the night, so the heck with it. And again, if something throws you off about where you're at, just leave. It ain't worth it. I gave up being in crappy situations back in 2021 when I retired from law enforcement, and I don't see putting myself in one if I don't need to. And whoever the cell phone was, I hope whoever has a good night. And it's all theirs for the evening. But I'm not playing that crap anymore. So on that note, I think I'm gonna hang out a little bit, maybe watch a movie, and call it a night. So the rest of you, if you do go camping, I stress be safe. You know, was I able to protect myself out there? Yeah, that's why I wasn't too flustered or worried. You know, more than able to protect myself. But why put myself in that situation if I don't have to? And it's hard to protect yourself when you're comfortably trying to sleep. So call it a good night. I had fun, had a great supper, vegetable beef kind of soup, and listened to some music off the camera, and got a couple hours to sit back and relax, and didn't see much for wildlife, just a rabbit. But all right, folks, well, have a good night, and I will catch you on the next one.